Last weekend was the beginning of spring, the spring equinox, where light and dark are exactly the same, and then spring begins, a new life comes into the world. And next week, a lot of people around the world are going to celebrate Easter without actually knowing where this originally came from, because initially those were the same thing. Right? Easter, long before there were chocolate bunnies and eggs and Jesus and all that stuff, was a different festival, and it was a festival of Ishtar. Right? Easter, Astarte in Greek, later Venus in Rome. Before that was Ishtar, the Mesopotamian goddess of wisdom, right? The divine feminine. And before then, Inanna in Sumeria. But Ishtar is this beautiful goddess that embodies the whole feminine. And she's, on the one hand, she's the goddess of sensuality and sexuality and love. And on the other side, she's the, goddess of war. Right? And in that contradiction, she ultimately becomes the goddess of fertility, of new life. Because purification in her tradition was not about becoming, enlightened, becoming all light, becoming all pure, but instead it was about being able to hold the opposites, light and dark. Right? Because if you really go pursue wisdom, you'll realize there is no such thing as right and wrong unless you're in a closed logical system. Right? Once you go outside the system and you understand the system, you see that there's all kinds of rights and wrong, and the opposite of a profound truth might as well be another profound truth. And even seeing all the contradictions inside of yourself, right? Where instead of giving yourself, attitude for not being perfect, understand that we're, human beings with base level instincts, with base level desires, where there's jealousy and cruelty and anger and violence that's also part of us. And instead of denying those aspects of ourselves, to fully embrace the whole you. And this is what the divine feminine stands for. She can embrace anything. She can hold the opposites. And because she can hold the opposites, that's where new life, new fertility comes. And it's an indication that life is always an ongoing motion. Just like in the Tao, yin and yang are always chasing each other, understanding that they're part of each other, continuously evolving towards a whole. So all life, all progress, later, also mirrored in Hegel's philosophy, needs thesis, antithesis, so that there can be a synthesis, so there can be continued growth and renewal. So, because sometimes this growth isn't necessarily pleasant either, right? If you think about a shell, right, that cracks so that a seedling can come out, well, the shell has to crack, right? So take a moment and think about what's in your life that's your shell, right? Maybe make a little fist, right, softly first, and feel that shell. Feel something that's inside of you that's been holding you back. Some limiting belief, some ways in which you think you should still show up, right? Something that you should do, right? So really feel that shell as you make your fist. And then feel how it's beginning to crack open and really make a tight fist. Tight, right? Really feeling this tension of the crack, of the shell that wants to crack, right? Really feeling this tension, right? And when you're ready, take a deep breath in and think about who you're going to be after this shell cracks, this new self that wants to emerge. And go. And feel the life inside of you coming up. Right? Spring is here. New life wants to emerge for you. So let go of the shell, whatever it might be for you, and allow yourself to crack wide open so that new life can emerge. Happy Ishtar.